we live? Hopefully we are live. We're going live. The connection is excellent. That is always a good thing. I see myself. Beautiful. Just make sure everything is okay. A couple of drop frames. No. Just a couple. All right. Going to start in a few. I wonder why I'm getting drop frames. It's weird. All right. We are going to start pretty soon. All right. All right, so let's start. What's going on, guys? It is Bernardo. Welcome back to episode 63 of the server room. And you saw the title. Today is all about setting up DNS aging and scavenging within Windows Server 2022. Before we start, I have a quick announcement, super quick. I started this season of the server room, all the live streams. I've been downloading them. I've been editing them to make them shorter, and I'm trying to push out the server room clips. So rather than you watching a 45-minute live stream, I try to condense that live stream to a 5 to 10-minute video, and you're able to just watch that. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. I've been working on that, and let's just get straight into it. I am going to switch to picture to picture. And first things first, what is DNS aging? What is DNS scavenging? I looked it up. I Googled it. Why not? Simple way to do it. So scavenging is basically it cleans up, deletes stale records in DNS. As deletion is involved, many safety values are built into scavenging, which takes a long time to enable scavenging. That's the definition. That's a Microsoft definition of what scavenging is. And for DNS aging, it identifies the stale DNS record from the DNS server by keeping track of its age and, to be more precise, its timestamp. So within my small little lab, and I'm going to do everything within the DC. I typically do everything on a workstation, but for this, I'm going to do it in the DC because before you do anything within your DNS server, you want to back it up. And I'm going to use a PowerShell to do that. But before I do that, let's open up DNS. So I'm going to click on Start. I'm going to go inside Windows Administrative Tools. And within here, I'm going to locate DNS, and I'm going to click on DNS. I'm going to load this up. We are going to expand our server. Let's go to forward lookup zone. Double click on that, and you're going to go and locate your domain. Open that up, and you should see like a crap load of records. Like my lab is super small, but most likely you might have like thousands. I've seen companies with thousands of records and don't have scavenging and aging enabled, so they have like a lot of stale records in here. And I don't really see anyone going in here and looking at all the records and right clicking and deleting stuff manually. Why would you do that? That's just, work smarter, not harder. So a lot of them, especially my DC one, let me see if I could zoom in for you guys real quick. Okay. So my DC one is static, which is great, but I still have like my intermediate CA that has a timestamp, which the timestamp was January 13th. So that's actually considered a stale record, but it's a legit record. So there are ways that you can actually tell this record to become static. So if you do enable the DNS aging and scavenging, it won't get deleted. A couple of these, like almost all these right here, I don't want them to get deleted because that's a big no-no. It's not really a big no-no, but I really don't want them to get deleted. So there's a couple ways to actually safeguard yourself from the aging and scavenging to delete something that's legit. Now, I did say that the first thing that we should be doing is backing up your DNS. This video is not about PowerShell, but I do have a PowerShell. I love doing PowerShell. This PowerShell script, I found this PowerShell script somewhere online. I do not recall where I found it, but I will post it up at my GitHub repo so you guys get a copy of it. So I'm going to click on Start. I'm going to right click on the Windows PowerShell ISE. Going to go to More, and I'm going to run it as an administrator. The PowerShell script is on the desktop, DNS backup. So I'm going to go to File, going to Open, and we're going to the desktop, and we're going to open up this PowerShell script. I'm not going to go over it with you guys, but again, I did find this content here. I found this PowerShell script online. The only thing that I changed is line 30 of where I want to drop the CSV file. Now, I'm going to go to the C drive because I want to show you guys within transfer. I don't have that file in there. I don't want you guys to think, this worked because you already had the CSV file already created. So the PowerShell script, that's why it worked. No, I'm going to do everything live with you guys just to show you guys that everything should work properly. Let me just make sure that we're good. Awesome. Cool. So we are going to, let's minimize this. I am going to do a Control A to select everything, and I'm just going to do F8 or just click on Run Selection. Because I don't have a lot of records in DNS, so it should be quick for you. If you have like thousands of records, it should take some time. If we go back inside that transfer folder, there goes our CSV. It looks like that because I don't have Excel. I'm able to right click and open it up within Notepad, but it's going to look like really gibberish. So I'm actually going to go into my PC01, and from PC01, and I'm going to click on, let's click on Start. Actually, let's right click on Start, and let's go to Run. And within Run, I'm going to go whack DC01 because that folder is actually being shared out. Where am I? Okay, that folder is actually being shared out, which is right here. And PC01, which is a Windows 11 machine, does have Excel. So that will allow me to double click on that CSV file to view it much better rather than within the Notepad. So we're going to open it up, and I'm going to show you guys how it looks. Again, this live stream is not about PowerShell. It's about setting up DNS aging, but best practice is anything that you do within your DNS server, back it up. And using this PowerShell script makes life easy. So I grabbed everything that I needed. If by any chance the aging and the scavenging deletes something that I did not want it to delete, I'm able to go inside the spreadsheet and be like, all right, shoot, it deleted this, it deleted line 41, deleted this A record. I'm able to go back and recreate it again, right? So I got my backup of everything, and now we are able to make the changes within DNS to do aging and scavenging. Now, one of the things, let's close this up. Don't save it. Let's go back into the DC. Let me close this up, go back to DC and close this. All right, and I'm gonna close this. Again, I will provide this PowerShell script for you guys. The only thing that you need to do is just change line 30 where you want to drop the CSV file into. That's it. I do recommend to run this PowerShell script on your domain controller, okay? Or where you have your DNS services located, right? For me, my DNS is actually installed on my domain controller. That's the reason why I ran it there. It's much smoother. Shouldn't have any problems. All right, so back inside DNS, the first thing that we need to do is, like I said, there's a couple of records that are not static. The timestamp is pretty old. If I do turn on aging and scavenging, they're going to disappear on me. Especially that A record, which is my intermediate CA. The timestamp is January 13th. If I do turn on aging and scavenging, depending on the settings that I configure, that's going to disappear, and I don't want that. So One thing that we could do is, like, if we double click on here, if I double click on this record, there's a couple of features within the properties of each A record or any record that's within your DNS that gives you the TTL, which I think is the time travel, I forgot, time travel something. I forget what TTL stands for. I always forget that. Damn, I forgot what TTL stands for. I'm bugging out. TTL, time to live. Time to live. Yes, I Googled it. Damn it, I forget things. Yeah, time to live. Uh, Time to live by default is typically 1 hour. I think for DNS, I think it's an hour or so. But if you have one of those records that you need to change for everything, for all your users, you might want to change that to 10 minutes. Like, for example, if there's like a website or something that you want to cache into all your users, you change the TTL on the record to 10 minutes and it will get propagated quickly. If not, I think the DNS by default is an hour. But the problem is you don't have that option here. And also, there's another additional option within properties that will allow you to tell the aging and scavenging to not delete. So I'm going to show you guys how to get that. So right now I don't have it. So I'm going to close this. And to enable that feature is super easy. So within your DNS manager, you want to click on view and you want to click on advanced. Once you click on advanced, you should see in this little area here, a couple of things might show up. But let's say within my domain, within the A records right here, if I'm just going to refresh real quick, just refresh it just for the hell of it. Now, when I double click on my intermediate CA record, let's double click on it and look at that. We just got some cool new features on it, which is great. So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can take a look. So we got the TTL, time to live, and by default it is 20 minutes. We are able to change that. 20 minutes is not that bad, but if you have like a senior management that told you to create, let's say, a CNAME for a particular website to get propagated throughout all the machines, most likely you don't want to wait 20 minutes. So you want to change it to maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Not really best practice, but if it's one of those critical things, you are able to change the TTL of that CNAME or A record or MX or whatever you need here. But you got to make sure you enable that advanced. Now, for example, for this record, because the timestamp is January 13, if I do turn on aging and scavenging, it's automatically going to delete it. And then by default, every A record or whatever record is set to delete this record when it becomes stale. If you do not want this record to be deleted, if you have aging and scavenging turned on, you could just uncheck this. And then we're going to apply it. Boom. The record timestamp disappears. We're going to click OK. And if I remember, I think here underneath the timestamp column, this changes. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to do a quick refresh. And it changes to static. So that is the record that we just went in, right? My intermediate CA, and I just made it static. Perfect. So that means when I turn in aging or scavenging, it's not going to get deleted. It's another server that I do not want to delete. So my MDT, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to uncheck delete this record when it becomes stale. I definitely don't want that to happen to my MDT. And if I right click inside a white space and do a refresh, it's going to change to static. So that means when I make the modifications within aging and scavenging, those records are not going to get deleted. Awesome. So probably saying to yourself, Bernardo, okay, get into how do you set up aging and scavenging. This is super simple. So on your DNS, on the folder that tells you your domain, for me, btnhd.edu, we want to right click on that folder. We need to go into properties. Within properties, right, the first tab, which is general, I'll show you real quick. There goes the option, aging. It's that simple. We're going to click on aging. By default, it's not turned on. Savage. Yeah, Savaging. Yeah, Savage. Yeah, stale records, resource records. By default, 7 days. It's not turned on. Let's enable it. You are able to make modifications on the days. If you don't want days, you could do hours. Like, oh shit, you really don't want to do hours. I would say days. It's all up to you. I can't tell you what's best practice here. It all depends on your environment. Let me get a little bit of water. Right? All depends on you. By default, Microsoft sets or kind of says this is what is best for your environment. I think in general, 7 days is throughout globally when you're configuring this, but you are able to change and make modifications depending on your requirements for your 9 to 5. So I'm gonna leave it at 7 days, and we're going to click OK, and that's it. Boom, done. That is how you set aging, at least. That's it, done. Now for scavenging is a little different, even though the wording where the aging is at will indicate that it's doing scavenging, but it doesn't. To do the scavenging, you actually have to do it on the server level. So we're going to select the server level. We're going to right click on that, and we're going to go into properties. Okay. And if you pay attention, let's close this up. If you right click, you are able to do, when you right click on the server node, it's going to say set aging scavenging for all zones, or scavenge, yes, scavenge stale research records. I think this option right here will actually initiate the thing, but let's go to properties, and we're going to go into advanced. And within advanced, you have the option right here to enable automatic scavenging on stale records. Hopefully I'm saying that word. I feel like it's so early in the morning right now. I'm like zoned out right now. I'm so tired. Long week. But by default, it's not turned on. So we're going to enable it. And again, Microsoft gives you a period of 7 days. You are able to change it to hours. I don't really recommend for hours. I would keep it a days and just increase it. But I can't really tell you what's the best number for your environment. It really depends on how you want to set everything up within your server. All right, so from here, we're going to apply it. We're going to OK it, and we're done. So we set our aging. I left everything as the default. I didn't make any crazy modifications. I can't really tell you like damn it, this is the number that you should be doing. No, I can't tell you that because I don't really know your environment. You are the system administrator or whatever admin you are. You have to like dig in, and you should understand your DNS records to make the changes. I can't give you best practice. I'm going to leave everything as the default at 7 days, but you might change it. It might be 20 days, 30 days. It all depends on you. Now, if I go in here, most likely if I run this, my PC01 might not disappear because the timestamp is pretty legit. It's actually March 9th, and today is March 9th. Can't believe it's March 9th. Wow, it's crazy. Damn. It's crazy. The reason why it's crazy is because 10 days on the 19th, my son was born on the 19th. That's crazy. That's when I become a dad. That's pretty awesome. Right. Wait. So I think once I initiate the scavenging and the aging process, I think the only one that should disappear would be 02. So I'm able to just right click on the server node and just do scavenge stale resource records, and it's going to give me a big warning. I don't know if you guys are able to see, so let's zoom in quick. Do you want to scavenge all stale resource records on the server? Yeah, why not? Press OK. Okay. I don't think anything's gonna happen, but I guess if I refresh, Something should disappear. Nothing disappeared. Okay. Okay. Doesn't look like nothing disappeared. If I right click here and I do set aging, this is strange. Didn't we set this up? All right, let me see something. All right, so here, right click, let's go to properties, aging. Okay, so we set that up. Okay, right click here. Yep, so we got that. Right click on the server. Let's go to properties, advanced. We set that. Okay, so it looks like there's an additional option. I never knew that. So all right, so there's additional options. So let's go. Let's right click on the server node. Oh shit, I'm not even showing you guys. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so my back on that. I apologize for that. Yeah, so we just set we went to properties within your domain, right? We set the aging, right? We went into the server node. I went to properties, right? I'm just doing a quick recap. Went to advanced. We enabled automatic scavenging for stale records, right? You guys didn't see this because you were still seeing me and no one told me. I'm like, Bernardo, what are you doing? Show me what you're doing. It's okay. I forgive you guys. So I right clicked and I actually did scavenge stale resource records. I hit yes here. I waited for a bit. Actually, I'm patient, so don't really have a lot of patience. So I just right clicked and refreshed. PC0 still 02 is still here. You know, this is like 2 months old. It should have disappeared. But check this out. When I right clicked on the server node and I clicked on set aging and scavenging for all zones, there's actually a setting here which kind of blew my mind. So I'm going to enable this as well. I didn't know about that, so I just learned that just now. You learn something new every day. Click OK on that, and it says the following. Let me zoom in so you guys are able to see. It says default settings for the new Active Directory integrated zone is enabled. Apply these settings to the existing Active Directory. Yeah, sure, why not? It basically said that, yeah, this zone right here does have it enabled because we just turned it on, but you are able to do it on the root level to actually set everything up. Not aging, okay. But when I'm running it, I guess it's gonna take a bit. Might take a while for it to start doing this thing. All right, yeah, it might take a bit. Something's going on. That's kind of weird, but the settings are configured for it to do what it needs to do. All right. No refresh the time between the most recent refresh of a record timestamp and the moment when the timestamp may be refreshed again. Oh, okay. All right. It will take some time, but press OK there. All right. So we got aging and everything configured properly. But all right. So it looks like everything is set up. That is how we set up and configured DNS aging and as well as scavenging within DNS. Now, the server that I'm doing everything on is a server 2022. And I'll show you guys real quick before we head out. So if I right click on the start menu, go to run, and I type in WinVer, you know, my server is 2022, is actually build 21H2, which I need to upgrade soon. But yeah, this is how you configure DNS aging and DNS scavenging within Windows Server 2022. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. And I catch you guys on the next live stream. And that's about it. It's a pretty short, simple one this weekend. And catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. All right, so I always forget how to turn this off. All right, is it off? Is it off now? Now?